Hello and welcome back. In today's video, I am going to talk about multi-factor authentication, MFA in Snowflake. How you can enable it, how you can enforce it, all the stuff. But why MFA is required? Because in recent security breaches, if you have listened the news, right? So there are cybersecurity attackers gained unauthorized access using stolen credentials. So you cannot rely on password only today. You have to have multi-factor authentication as of today. What is MFA? So MFA is a multi-factor authentication where you have to have multiple factors to log into the system. So if you have username password and you're trying to log in, that's called one factor authentication. But if you have another factor, like you enter the password, you hit the submit, and it will ask for you to enter another password probably, or maybe you are having some setup in mobile, so you get the message and you get that OTP and you enter it. So that's called the second factor authentication. So that's how you can set up multi-factor authentication in Snowflake as well. So they have support of Duo application. So when you are enforced or you are trying to enroll this multi-factor authentication by your own, you will get a screen to set up the multi-factor authentication. You have to select a device. You have to select what kind of method you want to add, like message, approval, and the call, right? So let's look at that in action. Okay. So you look at the screen. So here is the screen where I will first try to log in with username and password. So look at what happens. So as I have already set up multi-factor authentication in my account, I am getting this screen. So without this screen, without this entering passcode, or maybe it calls me and I will get the passcode, and then otherwise there is another way of doing that, that is a send me a push. So right now I will use send me a push. So when I click this send me a push, it will give me a notification. Yeah, see, you can hear that, right? So once that is done, I'll just approve it. Once I approve it from my mobile, this will log in. Okay. So if you go to this users and roles, so there are two users, Hardik and Snowflake, right? So let's forget about this Snowflake as of now, but look at this H&M Patel where MFA is yes. MFA is yes means that user has already enrolled to the multi-factor authentication. Okay. So now let's understand a couple of things, like let me go to this worksheet first and let me create another worksheet. Okay. So there is no need of selecting any database, but you have to select a warehouse, and what you can do is alter user and then you can pass H&M Patel and you can set disable MFA is equal to true. Okay. So once I hit this command, bad request invalid query range values. Okay, let me do this. Okay, so as you can see, this for this user MFA is disabled now, and if I go and check in the users list, what happens? It should say no, right? Now it says that protecting your company's data is everyone's job. Do your part, enable multi-factor authentication now. So this notification we have started getting because of the recent security breaches in Snowflake. So Snowflake has tried to push also each and everyone in the Snowflake community. So you enable MFA on your own. Okay. So there is two ways of doing that. One is you keep it open for everyone to log in through the username and password, but also you can monitor them here, how many users have already enrolled and how many users has not enrolled, right? So here ensure the account level network policy has been configured. Okay, so this is about IP list, but that's okay. So right now you are not able to see here, but it scans every some time and you will get how many users have enrolled and how many users have not enrolled, right? Now let's go to the worksheet again. Okay, so now another way of doing is that how you can enforce all the users to do MFA, set up the MFA. So they cannot log in without MFA setup. So they have to have set up that MFA. So what happens if you do that? So let me try and do this. Okay. So to enforce, we have to run one command. So first of all, we have to create a policy, authentication policy. So there is a syntax for that: create authentication policy and the policy name. And then what is this? Then it is required for MFA enrollment. And there is another attribute called MFA authentication methods. So right now it is just for password, but you can also enable for private key as well if you want to. Okay, so this is the policy you have to create. Okay, now I have to set up a database. So I will set up Cricket. And yeah, so MFA enforcement policy is created. Now what you have to do is that you have to set this authentication policy for user or the account level. So if you do at account level, then all the users for this account have to enable MFA. If you want to enforce only for a couple of users, then you can also do that. Okay, so let's do first at user level and then we will do account level. Okay, so to do account level we have to do all the user, and then again the username is HNM Patel. Set authentication policy, and then you have to give this. Okay, so once it is done, now if I log out and log in again, then it will ask me for the setting up the MFA. But as of now, there is no requirement, right? All right, so let me log out and I'll log in again. Okay, so it will automatically restart, and this is the username password. I will keep it. You are required to enroll in multi-factor authentication. So as you can see, now if there are hundreds of users in your account and no one has enrolled, and you just suddenly enable this at account level, that policy, then everyone has to set up this MFA. So this is very helpful actually, because suppose you find this as security breach somehow in your account, then you can enable it very quickly. Okay, so now how to set up this, let's look at that. So you have to click start setup, then you can select any one of the device which you have. I have mobile phone, so I will continue. Then I will select this and I'll put my mobile number, and I'll just continue. I'll select device. I have Duo mobile already available. I just need to open the Duo application, and then I'll just scan it. Okay, like this. So once it is set up, I have this available, so I'll just need to click continue. Then this is the default device. When I log in, ask me to choose an authentication method. So as you saw that, right, in first when I logged in first time, when already I had enrolled in this account, so what we had three options. Either you can call me, you can directly enter the passcode, I mean OTP, one-time password, and then there was third, send a push automatically. So here it is saying that you can select right now, ask me to choose an authentication method, so which I already did earlier. But suppose I do this, automatically send this device a Duo push, so I did not need to click one more time, so it will automatically send me that push. Okay, and there is third option is automatically call this message, but I will just select ask me to choose an authentication method. So I'll continue to log in. Now it is saying that you can select any of the three, right? I'll select this send me a push because it's easier. You get this option like this. You just need to hit the approve button. Okay, so when I hit the approve button, it automatically logs in. Okay, now this way you can enforce this user only, but if you want to enforce whole account level, then alter account. Okay, and then same this line you have to put. Okay, so once you do this, now even if you create a new user in future, that user also have to set up MFA in this account. Okay, so this is how you can secure. So yeah, that's pretty much from this video. I mean, MFA is this. So I hope you understand what is the importance of this MFA, right? So I would recommend you to enable this MFA as soon as possible. That way it will increase the security. Thank you for watching. And remember, in cybersecurity, being proactive is the key to staying safe. If you found this video helpful and if you have learned something, please hit the like button and subscribe. Okay? And with that, see you soon in the next one.